WCW American Dream. This is Levinix, and I hope you caught the first video where I give a quick overview of World Championship Wrestling in 1991. And in this video, I'm going to go over the first 2 weeks of January. You can see it's January, it's the third week of January. That's kind of when I decided I wanted to do this after thinking about it for a while. So without further ado, let's just take a quick look at the first 2 weeks of January in WCW. Grey Dog software forums is where I post. I'm not on a recurring schedule just yet. I'd like to do every other day, post a week worth every other day. But you know, it depends on how life is going. So what we've got here is main event. Now Grey Dog software, or I'm sorry, TW, the way they do their weeks is they are Monday through Sunday, 7 days, 4 weeks in a month. So we have 1 through 28. So that is how I've done the dates for the shows. So you will find a recurring theme of, you know, there's always going to be a 5th for main event, unless I change when main event's going to air. So it's always going to be on the 5th of January, the 5th of February, 5th of March. So you'll find that being a recurring number. That's why. It's just how the game does it, and I like giving an actual date better than saying Friday, week 1, January 1991. I'm just not a fan of that, so let's get a bit more specific. So I've decided to kick things off in South Carolina at the Memorial Auditorium. That's where popularity is the highest. So I've decided to start there. So the formatting that you'll see here is I list attendance of how many people, show rating based out of 100, and then a TV rating. Obviously, main event's going to have a lower TV rating. I will keep track of things between me and competition. Right now, the only competition is WWF. If I want to look globally, other competition could be New Japan and All Japan Pro Wrestling. However, I have a working agreement with New Japan Pro Wrestling, so I don't consider them competition at the moment. We'll see. It's also a different format. You know, Japan does the touring schedule, and I do the normal schedule, so it would be hard to compare. But at the end of every month, I want to list something like a top 5 events between me and competition, and a top 5 TV ratings between me and competition, just to show how things are going, because eventually there's going to be a Monday Night War. So let's see it from the start. So here's how things look as I post them. I may expand on this. I'm not sure though. I don't have time to write out full matches. I could. I've thought about giving a little more information for some of the people I'm working on or have special plans for. But as of right now, this is what it's going to be. It's going to be just what TEW has listed as the finish. So Owen Hart and George South, this is a no-brainer. Owen picks up the victory, and it's one of a couple he'll get over the next couple weeks. Michael Wall Street, because I've always liked Michael Wall Street. Scott Armstrong. Oh, I missed an I right here. Oh well. I like Ricky Morton. It definitely says something about the time frame and the type of wrestling finishers that we have when Ricky Morton's beating people with a simple drop kick. But it's Ricky Morton, and his drop kick is magical. So I will take that any day. So now we get into, I want to work some sort of angles or promos or videos for some ongoing storylines, because you can't just run these B-level shows, especially like Main Event or Power Hour, which, it's not like SmackDown. It's not that kind of B show. It's like B show as in we're going to recap what's happened on World Championship Wrestling TV or the pay-per-view or Clash of the Champions, and we're going to have some mid-card guys in here, and they're going to fight, and normally you only see a couple matches. I want more wrestling than that, but I can't ignore other things that are going on. One, because they're happening and they need to be shown, and two, if I don't include some sort of stars in these shows in some way, the rating of the show is going to tank. Barry Windham over Pez Watley. And there's the main event, Steiners and the York Foundation. I don't remember a Steinerizer. I don't know. I'll have to look that up. All right, so now we're moving on to World Championship Wrestling. This is the A show. This is where most of the good stuff is going to happen. Um, leading up, building towards pay-per-views, building towards additional events. So as you'll see, I'm trying to get some of the larger storylines, some more context. Obviously I can put in there, Sting and Flair go back and forth in regards to an upcoming match. But I wanted to do a bit more. And I love Ric Flair. And I love thinking about how he would say stuff. And, Sting, it's great. It's great. Taking his shirt off, dropping elbows on his blazer. It's all good stuff. But anyways, so this is where I'm going to add some more stuff. I don't know if I'm going to continue to do it. I don't know if I'm only going to do it for storylines, or if I'm going to do it for all promos that are made. We'll see. So, Sting and Flair, they're doing their thing. Arn Anderson, this is kicking off Arn Anderson's promo towards the television championship, which is held by Z-Man, and Brian Pillman is also involved in this. I brought Harlem Heat in just to go up against Doom and like a trial match. Again, if you saw my intro, I'm big on in-ring performance ratings, because I'm big on professional wrestling over the entertainment aspect. So I wanted to see what their ratings were, and I liked it. So there'll be more on that later. Teddy Long hollering to his players in regards to the Doom being the best tag team. So we're aiming towards another Clash of the Champions match, which is in a couple weeks, with Doom and the Steiner brothers. Owen Hart again takes out Tim Horner. You never go wrong with Owen. Owen was one of the greats. I enjoyed him, and I'd like for him to be a prominent role in WCW. So we'll see how that goes. I don't have any storyline or long-term plans for him just yet, though. Diamond Exchange. The Freebirds. Here they are. Here's Diamond Dallas Page. Page and the Freebirds aren't happy. They're not happy that Doom seems to think the Steiners are the only tag team in WCW who they need to give their attention to. The Freebirds are here, and DDP claims they're coming for the championship belts. How is this going to play out in Clash of Champions? I don't know. A challenge has been made. It sounds like it's going to be the Steiners and Doom. And here's the Fabulous Freebirds. Hey, what about us? What about, the Freebirds? We're not just, lower mid-card guys. We're here. We're in the main event. We should be in the tag title picture. So we'll see if DDP's shenanigans can get them into the title picture at Clash of Champions. And then to wrap things up here, oh, I'm sorry, not to wrap things up. I'm thinking about a different show. Arn Anderson defeats Brian Pillman. I think that was a logical choice. I think Brian Pillman going over Arn Anderson would be a surprise. So this wasn't the place for it. Again, they're part of a storyline. This is just moving things forward. Ric Flair. Ric Flair's going crazy backstage like Ric Flair always does. Here we lead into what's going to be the main event for World Championship Wrestling TV. Sting and the U.S. champ are going to know what it means to fight the Four Horsemen. That's because Ric Flair is going to team up, and he's going to go against Sting and Lex Luger. So that's what's going on there. El Gigante beats Buddy Landel. Everybody beats Buddy Landel. I don't know. I like El Gigante. He's nimble. He's big. He's gumpy. I don't know. I'd love to be able to do more with him, but the guy just, he's not there. I don't know. I don't know. I think it would be cool. Maybe we should wrap him up as the Yeti and just do that now, right? And the main event. Barry Windham and Ric Flair. Lex Luger and Sting. For storyline purposes, I did ensure that Ric Flair did not lose, and I did ensure that Sting picked up the victory. So, again, going with flow, things of that nature, what would have made sense? It would have made sense that Sting picks up the win and Ric Flair saves face by not losing. So that's what we had here. Power Hour. Okay, I'm going to try to speed things up. I guess I'm a little long-winded here, but I enjoy it. Power Hour. So this would have been Sunday. So this would have been after the previous video package highlighting current NBA World Champion Sting. This is just showing, things that happened last night. The finish of the match, Sting beating Barry Windham. Next match, State Patrol and the Young Pistols. Again, I love tag team wrestling, and this is me just trying to see who's clicking, who's not doing so well, how performance is going to be, what kind of ratings we're going to get. I like the look of the Young Pistols. I love Tracy Smothers, so we'll see how that goes. I don't know. I've been thinking maybe a tag team tournament down the road after Clash of Champions. I'm not sure. Z-Man cuts a promo. I've never cared for him, nor do I recall seeing much of him in my time of watching. So I did not write anything out here because I couldn't hear him. And one of those things also, with it being more of a recap show, I don't know if I'm going to. Bobby Eaton and Dustin Rhodes, I'm sorry. Luckily I had Dustin available here. He's been caught up on a WWF pay-per-appearance for, I think, 2 or 3 appearances. So he's been unavailable. So I'm glad he's here and he's available. I did have him lose to Bobby Eaton. He's still new. He's still fresh. And it's Bobby Eaton. If you've watched wrestling back then, Bobby Eaton is a legend in the ring. Small video package with Lex Luger working out, preparing to take on all comers. I didn't want to go an entire week without referencing the United States champion, though I don't have any plans for him right now. I'm not sure what I want to do. I can't stand Lex Luger, so I don't know if I want to keep the belt on him or if I want to. I'm not sure. Sid Vicious versus the Italian Stallion. As you can see, a 59-minute match. This was supposed to be a squash. I want to build Sid up. Not entirely sure how I want to go about it, but that's definitely what I want to do. Pre-recorded video here of Arn Anderson lacing up, talking about wanting the World Television Championship and what it means to him. Um, I'm sure with it being Arn Anderson, I'm sure he was long-winded and he had plenty of say, and I'm sure every word was gold. Um, and then the final match, Z-Man, Brian Pillman, Television Championship. Pillman takes another loss. So again, we're working towards Clash of Champions. Television Championship will be on the line in some way. So news. After every week I post news. Um, uh, you know, this is just to show some general stuff. I don't want to get too crazy in regards to what I'm doing, but things that I think would be cool to share. I reached out to New Japan Pro Wrestling, got that working relationship together, all for the sole purpose of taking care of Japan's Super Show next month. I want to see how that goes. Having a working relationship with them does conflict with me wanting to get a couple guys to written deals, including Vader, but we'll see how that goes, and I'll go from there. I don't know. Right now, Vader's touring so much, he is not available for any of my shows, which is a bummer because I enjoyed Vader in WCW. I'm also having a section here which are going to show current talent I've released and current talent who have resigned. I'll give some information on the contract type and how long. Also, you can see new signings where I've picked up some people. And Kip Hames, wow, boy, did I mess up that. That's Kip James, Billy Gunn. I did pick him up on a 3-year contract. I messed that one up too. And Jim Cornette, who does not like to work longer than 6 months because he's a freelancer. Not sure what I'm going to do there. Someone in the forums, as you can see, made a good note in regards to Jim Cornette opening Smoky Mountain Wrestling. I don't know if I'm going to keep him around. We'll see. So we're going to jump over to week 2 here real quick. We're going to make this a little quicker one here. So week 2, we're talking Friday. Sting kicks off the show. He wants Ric Flair to meet him face-to-face at the World Championship Wrestling taping tomorrow. So again, we're working towards a match. We're working towards a conflict that's going to be settled at Clash of Champions. Junkyard Dog versus El Cubano. That was Junkyard Dog as a written talent, and I'm paying for him, and I threw him in a match, or else I'm just throwing money away. That really is all this is here. Quick discussion with the announcers talking about what's going on between Doom and the Steiners in the tag division. All prior to Ricky Morton and Tommy Rich going against the Fabulous Freebirds. Now, the Freebirds did pick up the win here. So I think this may give them a little bit of momentum and give DDP a little more to talk about when it comes to them being involved in the tag team title picture. Brian Pillman. Pillman cuts a quick promo here. So Pillman's angle here is going to be that, Arn thinks he should be champ, thinks that he deserves it. Brian Pillman's desire to be champ is greater. So I think that's where it's coming from. It's coming from Arn being the vet. It should be his because he is who he is. Pillman being the new guy coming in saying he wants it because he wants to earn it. So I think that's a great role for Brian Pillman, and I think it's going to help with the story. Pillman also defeated Jack Victory. That was the main event. All right, so World Championship Wrestling. We're setting the stage here for Clash of the Champions, Ric Flair and Sting, confrontation in the ring. And what we're going to see here is Sting and Ric Flair are going to meet at Clash of the Champions in a 1-hour Iron Man match. I wanted something different done here. I didn't want just a regular match. I wanted something that wasn't as common back then. Folks were known for going, 30, 35 minutes in matches, but, Steel cage matches were big. Texas death matches in some cases. Iron Man match. That's what we're doing. Um, After the match, here comes the Four Horsemen. Arn Anderson, Barry Windham, Sid. They join Ric Flair. They jump Sting. They beat him down. Sting leaves. Sting is left laying in the middle of the ring, and Flair methodically lays the championship across his waist as they leave. So things are getting heat up. Action is happening. Steiners are in action now against the Lightning Express. They defeat Lightning Express for the U.S. tag titles. I'm not keeping the U.S. tag titles around. I'll be open about that. Um, there's just no point. Again, if you saw my first video, you'll know my feelings about that. There's not enough tag teams, not enough top tag teams for there to be 2 tag team championships. So when I will merge those or unify those, I'm not sure. All right, so Missy Hyatt interviews Ric Flair in the back. Again, this is where I just try to have some fun, and I thought, well, how would Ric Flair respond to this? And of course, you have to end everything Ric Flair says with an exclamation point. It's fun. I enjoyed it. So we're continuing to go. Larry Zbyszko, a favorite of mine. We've got him worked in just against Pat Rose here. Nothing major here to talk about. He's just here. He's just in a match. And again, this was just me looking at who do I have on the roster, who has signed a written contracts, who are getting paid even if I don't use them, and who haven't I used yet. Here are the Freebirds talking again. They're not backing down. Diamond Dallas Page is not backing down in regards to the Freebirds being involved in the tag team title picture. So let's talk like an announcer would talk about it. I don't know what Dusty Rhodes is going to do about this, but it can't be ignored that DDP is out here. He's making claims, and the Fabulous Freebirds are following those claims up with victories. We'll see where it goes from there, because they turn around and they defeat the York Foundation next. So, give me some feedback here also on the setup here. I'm going to start adding managers on here in a smaller picture. I think that's kind of cool. All right, Brian Pillman, quick backstage promo. Letting Arn Anderson know he's still kicking. He's still here. He's taken a couple losses. He came back against Jack Victory for a win last night, and now he's still here. He hasn't gone anywhere. Arn Anderson hasn't scared him away. Next match, Bobby Eaton, Brian Pillman. Eaton picks up the victory. Hits an Alabama jam after Arn Anderson comes out and distracts Pillman. So Pillman is getting under Arn Anderson's skin. This kid has lost a couple matches. He's being buried by Arn Anderson in his promos, yet the kid's still here. He's still all about that World Television Championship, and he's all about letting Arn Anderson know, hey, I'm still here. Arn Anderson decided to take matters into his own hand, and Bobby Eaton comes away with a victory from it. Main event time. Okay, 3 of the Horsemen against Sting and the Steiners. This may look a bit familiar for this time of year because War Games around this time of year was Sting, the Steiners, and Pillman, and the Four Horsemen. Will I go that route? You will have to wait and see. No spoilers today. However, this match, disqualification, Sting and the Steiners win. Arn Anderson and an unlikely ally, and Larry Zbyszko, come down and they attack Sting and the Steiners. So we've got a problem here. And we have someone who's going to come save the day. Now, a surprise like this maybe would have been better at Clash of Champions. However, I don't think so, because there needs to be a reason why people tune in, right? Right. That's how I'm looking at it. So, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I'm sorry, not the Dragon. Ricky Steamboat has made a surprise appearance. He's come out, he's saved Sting and the Steiners, and it appears he has aligned himself with Sting and the Steiner brothers against what is turning into a four horseman just beatdown. So, what's Ricky Steamboat's motivation here besides his long-term history with Ric Flair? Why is he choosing to come here now? Why is he choosing to jump in now? What is it? What are his goals? We're going to find out in the coming weeks. And finally, Power Hour. Power Hour, we do a quick review of what happened last night. Big Cat beats Brad Armstrong with a torture rack. There's the Z-Man again, caught in a backstage promo on Arn Anderson. And we wrap that up against Rip Morgan. Z-Man defending his television championship against Morgan here. So, going on to the news. One of those things that I put in here, WCW management has fined Tommy Rich and Jimmy Garvin for an undisclosed amount of money for recent behavior. You know what? I'll poke some fun about that. There are things that WCW management will not tolerate. And what's happened here is they need to figure it out. And they need to get their acting gear. Or who knows. Unfortunately, Saturday at World Championship Wrestling TV taping, Terry Taylor sustained an injury. He's going to be out for a few months. Does this have anything to do with the fine Jimmy Garvin received? Don't know. Terry Taylor and Jimmy Garvin were in the same match together at the WCW taping. But he's out for a few months. Unfortunately, I did have a couple plans, nothing too major. So we'll see what we do with that. I have re-signed Sid Vicious in an attempt to lock in my main event talent. I've moved him off of a pay-per-appearance agreement, and he is now on a written deal. Just one of those things that I'm working towards, which was excellent. I also make note here, I've signed Ricky Steamboat to a 5-year deal. I have also signed Dean Malenko to a multi-year deal. Dean Malenko is my favorite wrestler of all time, so this is not a surprise. I'll be keeping him around unless the game variance decides to have him tank. I hope not. Additionally, I did sign Booker T and Stevie Ray, so they are now under 1-year pay-per-appearance agreements. Competition news. The only competition news we have here is The Undertaker beat The Ultimate Warrior for the WWF Championship. Warrior defended it 16 times prior to that, and now The Undertaker's the champ. So, kind of cool, kind of interesting. The game is seeing the star power of The Undertaker already. Because Undertaker, what was it? It was November of 1990 that Undertaker debuted in the WWE, right? So that was just a couple short months ago, and now they've already put the strap on him. So kind of cool. Will be kind of interesting to see where they go from there, but we'll see. So again, thanks for checking this out. It's cool. I know I'm a bit long-winded. I hope you can see that's how much excitement and love I have for this and for professional wrestling. Next video will be week 3. Maybe a little quicker video, as I'm going to record that video as I'm booking. So we'll see how that goes. But until then, guys, thanks a lot.